Hi, welcome back to our last week of public administration, and this week should be fairly simple for you. We're just going to finish our last discussion. And so first off, I want to thank you guys for a great semester. I know it's a lot of hard work. This class covers a ton of different material, and I know the textbook is difficult to read. It covers a lot of stuff. But it is fairly complete. Remember, public administration is a whole course of study for many master's programs, and so this gives you an overview of what you would cover in one of those programs. And so, we rely heavily on cases to do that. So this should be a fairly easy week for you compared to what you had to go through this semester. And again, I thank you for all your hard work. And hopefully, you learn quite a bit and you're able to apply some of the stuff you picked up in your other classes and were able to add to that with this class. So as you see, public administration is super interdisciplinary, and it hits on so many different fields. So this week we're going to wrap up things. So you're going to read your classmates' post from discussion 14. And again, respond to at least 6 different responses on at least 3 different days. So we're just finishing up. Again, this shouldn't take you very long to do. Make sure you have your paper submitted to the Dropbox. I have yet to see someone pass this class without turning in a term paper. So, it's worth enough points where you need the paper. There's also an extra credit discussion that we have set up last week. And so far, a few of you have gone ahead and posted to that, and so you'll get extra credit points for posting. And I will also give an extra point for each one of the classmates' posts that you read on that discussion. So if you post to it, you'll be able to read other classmates' posts and look at their article they've linked to. And then just type a little response about what you think about what they did, and that will get you an extra point for each one of those you do. But I'll give you guys 9 points for just posting that initial post. So I'm actually really happy you're able to do that. One thing that's important to do in this class is really show that you understand what public administration is. And I know it, as you can tell now, it could be a ton of different things. So I told you at the beginning, it could be anywhere from street sweeping to launching spaceships up in space. So it's a pretty broad field of study. The purpose of the paper, I want to get back to that. I know it's a different style of paper than most people have to do, and it looks at incremental decision making. And this is what happens when a decision is made. Fortunately, people who make decisions usually are able to recall the processes they went through because they're usually trained on this. And so when there's a bad decision made, they're usually able to pick out where you had a failure. You also can use this to be positive and look at successes. So when something goes right in administration, you could look back and you could try to see what point of the process you made a proper decision in. And this can be applied to everything from what appears to be a split-second decision all the way down to something that you're planning out for years. A split-second decision, people usually think you're just making it on a whim. With proper decision-making, analysis, and preparation, a person is actually going through this in their head just in a rapid progression. This is a 5-point method I use for this class. If you take my social policy class, I use a different method that goes through the system that Berkeley set up that gets a little more in depth. But for public administration, I think, especially when looking at street-level bureaucrats, a 5-point decision-making process is it makes sense to use. So So again, we do this to look at how successes and failures are analyzed. I hope you enjoyed that part of the project. I tried to break it up incrementally to also give you a lesson on incrementalism and learn how if you take a project up and you break it up into ideas and you spread over time, it should be a little less painful. So yeah, that's all we have to do this week is get through that, make sure your paper's turned in again, get through your discussion, and do your extra credit assignment. Earlier in the semester, I did ask you guys for some feedback where we do, what worked for you and what doesn't work for you, and that's actually a tool that I borrowed from Dr. Hessen. He used to work at Black Hills State, retired a couple years ago, and he would ask this question at various times throughout a semester and use it for building future classes. With this class, I know it's a very difficult class, and I do know that it covers a ton of different things, and some people get frustrated with that, but I do try to find ways to make it make more sense. So with prior feedback, I change the rigor. So at the beginning of the class, you have a lot more to do, and as the semester ends, it winds back with a little bit less work, but more of a personalized assignment where you're doing your paper. And so that was actually a result of prior what worked for you assignments in other classes. I just want to let you guys know this class has the exact same rigor that I offer in my face-to-face class. So next semester I'm teaching this class face-to-face. The students are going to have to do every single thing that you did. Maybe if a different style and discussions will be a little different because they are face-to-face. But every single bit of work you did will be done in that class as well. So I don't make this class more difficult because it's online, and I have a tendency to actually copy assignment for assignment, face-to-face and online for my classes. So what you did is exactly what happens in the face-to-face class. And like I said, I know we cover a ton of different things, and I really want to thank you guys for all your hard work. I know it takes a lot of time to read these chapters. They're written very technically, and it's not an easy read. But to make up for that, I try to bring in a lot of videos and audio tools to make it a little easier for you, so that way you have multimedia in your class and have it not just be reading. So again, have a great summer, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me on D2L throughout the semester. After the semester's over, you can reach me on the Black Hills State email. I check that, like I said, but not as periodically, but you can go ahead and reach me on that, and I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have, or maybe offer any help that you might need for anything else. Thank you so much, and have a great summer.